Something you didn't know. Despite this being six string fun, even before I started this channel, believe it or not, I actually wrote a book. It's not published. It's the story is done, I think. It's got to go through the editing process. I actually need an editor, so if anybody's an editor out there and can help, um, great. But that said, yeah, I wrote a book. It kind of came about really organically, I guess. It was a really weird situation. So this February, it's going to be 8 years. So 2016, February 2016. Um, in a 3 week span, 4 week span, I ended up going to three different wakes slash funerals, and it was an eye opener. Especially you're getting older. It was just an eye opener, losing people, especially at that clip. The running joke. I don't know if it's an Italian thing, but the running joke in the family was that, you know, when someone passed away, it kind of doubled for two things. It was a wake, it was a funeral. To go and say goodbye basically, but it also served as a family reunion because sometimes that's the only time you saw certain people in your family. So funny, not funny, but funny, and it was a real eye opener. And don't ask me why, but and even going further back, I remember in particular there was another uncle who had passed away, mid '80s, late '80s, Uncle Al. And I remember my dad passed a little over 2 years now, but I remember my father being with me at the wake. And if if you've been to a wake, you go to the casket and you kneel and you pray. And I'll never forget my dad saying, "Man, at least he went with a smile on his face." And he did. He was not, again, it's just kind of tongue in cheek, but he did have a smile on his face. And it kind of got me thinking. I've been thinking about it for years. And up to that point, 8 years ago, those who pass away, do they know something that we don't know? Are they tipped off? Do they know what's, it just, all these things. And it's just kind of how I process certain things, knowing that, now I'm 51, you kind of think about these things a little more than you did in the past, especially when you're in your 20s and 30s. So I started thinking about that, going, man, this, interesting, and that's how I started processing, losing people, and eventually you're going to be in that spot. So I guess I just wanted to kind of, tell a story about what happens, and is there another part of life we don't know about yet, right? And how do we get there, and who's there for us? And that's why I started thinking about this story. And I've got a working title called Meeting Uncle Jake, and Uncle Jake is actually based on an uncle of mine who I never met. He passed away a good 10 years before I was born. But Uncle Jack, full name was Giacomo Filippone, born in Sicily, came to New York 1902 with my great grandmother and his older sister and younger brother. My grandfather was later born in New York City, ended up moving here to North Jersey sometime after that. Never knew Uncle Jack, but I always saw pictures. Well, I should say, I saw certain pictures. Again, today you've got your phone, you take 100 pictures. Back then you're lucky if you got 100 pictures total of somebody's life, right? So, but Uncle Jack was always, he just had this look, jet black hair, comb back, you know, seemed like a good dude. And like, you kind of wish you got to meet him. But, that wasn't the case. But for whatever reason, his character, my uncle became the character of the story I was telling. And the story itself is really, what happens when we pass away. I mean, and I don't mean it to be some type of religious experience. It's just really, hey, just maybe something that happens, something fun way to think about it. We move on, and what's there waiting for us? Who's there waiting for us? Where do we go? But also maybe before we go, we're tipped off by somebody, and that's why people are ready. People say, "Hey, I was ready to go. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go." Just again, running joke. Lord, take me now. Maybe people know something we don't know. I don't know, but I started writing, and I started, I stopped, I started, I stopped, and there was a span where I cranked out. I don't know how many words I cranked out in a couple of days, but the story itself is about 45,000 words, 50,000 words. So it's like a short, I guess they call it a novella, not a novel, but it's definitely about 150 pages if it was to be a paperback. And I want to get it to the finish line. So this is something I'm going to be working on hopefully this year. I want to get it done for nothing more than the fact I can say I wrote a book. I'm going to put it as an ebook hopefully, and even if one person buys it, I feel like I've succeeded at something I never thought I would do. and I enjoyed it. And I actually got a second part to it ready to, up here ready to go, but never took. Everyone said, you look online, oh, you gotta take notes and do this. I mean, I just sat down, laptop open, cranked it out, and that's how it came about. I hope I can get it out there. I would love to share it with anyone who's interested at some point. It just was a great way for me to channel certain things and look forward. Not look forward, but look to how things might happen down the road for me, for anybody else, and having fun with it. That's the whole point. It was having fun with it. Uh, again, my dad passed 2 years ago, and he unfortunately, his cancer had come back. But I remember when it did, he was always in a good mood, uh, and my mom hated it. We would joke around, and I mean, we all knew how serious it was and where it was going to probably end up, but we would have fun with it. And it's kind of like, what are you going to do? I guess in a way, is the way he looked at it. And I went along for the ride on that one because I'd rather smile and have fun than the other way to do it. So, but that's how it went about. So, and thankfully, the working copy was done well enough prior to him passing because he got to read it, and I know he enjoyed it. He thought it was kind of funny, and there's a, I mean, not that, I mean, there's nothing to give away because there's nothing out there yet, but um, it was fun. For the most part, it was fun, and it really just kind of dealt with me and how I handle certain things and how I'm going to have to maybe handle certain things down the road. But I'm glad I did it, and I hope to get it out there. I hope people can again, 1, 2 people buy this book if it's an ebook for $1.99, $3.99 on whatever it's going to be. Hey man, job well done by me because I never thought I would have done that, but I enjoyed it, and who knows what it might end up down the road if I can get it out there. I think that's my goal. I just have to have it, one final edit, somebody to take a look at it. I know I had to change a few things around as far as a name or two, but that was about it. Keeping it as is. I've had several people look at it and think it was really cool. So thank you for the folks that have helped me the last couple of years on that. That doesn't go unnoticed, and I'm definitely haven't forgotten about you on that. So we'll see. Just figured I'd share that with you. Hopefully get it out there. Just have some fun with it. But you know, I guess we'll see. That's the goal for this year, just to try to get, even first half of this year, get something done, get it out there, and just you know, nothing more than that, I guess. But we'll see what happens. I hope you get a chance to read it if I can get it out there. Again, if there's any editors out there that can help me out, great. That'd be cool. We'll see what happens. Just figure I'd share that with you. Just another side of me. Most people probably don't know, except for my few tight family members and some close friends that know. Uh, I started this and I want to pick it back up. So that's the goal. We're gonna get there.